Airlines are quietly making billions off senior travelers, and it's not because you're flying more. It's because they're hiding perks you've already earned. If you're 60 or older, you could be skipping lines, boarding before first class, and saving hundreds in fees. The catch? They'll never tell you unless you ask. Today, I'll reveal the 7 airport secrets airlines don't want you to know. Secrets that can completely change the way you fly. Airlines aren't just businesses. They're billion-dollar machines designed to squeeze every extra dollar out of passengers. And when it comes to seniors, they've perfected a strategy that works almost too well. Hide the perks, keep the profits. Think about it. If you knew that simply being over 60 meant free assistance through security, waived baggage fees, or even priority boarding before first class, would you ever pay extra again? Probably not. And that's the problem from the airline's point of view. Every free wheelchair escort, every waived fee, every discount seat, that's money slipping out of their pockets. So instead of shouting these perks from the rooftops, airlines bury them deep in policy manuals, accessible only if you know exactly what to ask. They're counting on silence. They're counting on you walking right past the help desk, boarding gate, or check-in counter without realizing the magic words you could have said. But here's the twist. These perks aren't charity. They're not optional, nice gestures. Most are federally mandated or written into airline policies themselves. You're not asking for favors, you're claiming what's already yours. And once you know the script, everything changes. Imagine breezing past long security lines while others wait. Imagine boarding before premium passengers without spending a cent. Imagine walking into a lounge you never thought you'd see inside. Sound impossible? It isn't. In fact, perk number 1 is so powerful it can transform your airport experience from stressful chaos into a smooth, almost VIP-level journey. And the best part? You don't need to be in a wheelchair to claim it. Let's unlock the first hidden benefit, free wheelchair assistance, and the untold truth about what it really gets you. When most people hear wheelchair assistance, they picture someone who can't walk at all. That's exactly why airlines love to keep this perk in the shadows. The truth? If you're 60 or older, you don't need to be fully immobile to qualify. Tired legs, heavy bags, long walks across sprawling terminals, any of these are valid reasons. And the moment you ask, the rules are on your side. Here's the part airlines don't advertise. Wheelchair service isn't just about the chair, it's about the entire VIP treatment that comes with it. Request this when booking, and suddenly you're escorted by staff who personally guide you through security. While others zigzag through crowded checkpoints, you're moved through faster lines. At boarding, you're called before even first-class passengers. Staff help with carry-ons, escort you directly to your seat, and even assist when it's time to deplane. And it doesn't stop there. You can also request ambulatory assistance, a middle ground for those who can walk but need support for distance or luggage. This subtle request often means someone meets you with a cart or walks you directly to the gate. Either way, you're treated as a priority passenger. Why is this such a secret? Because each request costs the airline money. They have to hire extra staff, dedicate time, and rearrange boarding order. Multiply that by thousands of seniors, and you see why they prefer a silence. But here's the kicker. They cannot legally refuse you. It's federally mandated. And here's the clever part. You can use it one way. Maybe you need it outbound when you're fresh off a long drive to the airport, but feel fine on the return trip. Totally your choice. But this is only the first crack in the system. What if I told you that once you hit 75, you can skip parts of security screening without ever paying for TSA pre-check? Most security tricks cost money or time. This one costs nothing, and it's built on common sense. Many travelers report that once you reach the mid-70s, TSA officers often treat you differently. You may not need the full pre-check process to get a gentler screening. In practice, this can mean keeping shoes and light jackets on, going through a simpler check, or being guided to a shorter line when screening is busy.
It isn't something advertised. It's a human solution inside a strict system. Here's why it works. Older passengers are usually lower security risks and move more slowly through standard lanes. For efficiency and compassion, some TSA officers will speed things along. But the trick isn't to demand it. It's to mention your age calmly and let the officer make the call. Try a short line. I'm 75 and I move slowly. Is there a shorter line or a modified screening I can use? That simple phrase often opens doors. There's another quiet move. If the security lines are backlogged, politely explaining your age and asking for assistance can get you waved to a less crowded checkpoint. Remember, this is about being clear and reasonable, not confrontational. The goal is to cooperate while making your needs known. This little-known courtesy can shave off long waits and the physical strain of standing in line. But here's the catch. If everyone claimed it, it wouldn't work. That's why officers use discretion. So use it wisely. Next up, the fares airlines hide. The senior discounts buried so deep, you'll need a phone call and the exact words to pull them up.
Most people think the internet shows every possible airfare. That's not true. The real bargains, the kind airlines don't want broadcast, are often tucked away behind a phone line. For seniors, some airlines quietly keep age-based discounts. They won't appear on Google Flights or comparison sites, and you won't see them on the airline's booking page either. You have to ask directly. Here's how it usually works. Call the airline's reservation desk. State your age up front and ask, do you have a senior discount on this route? If the agent hesitates, stay polite but firm. Many have codes they can apply, but only if you ask in the right way. The difference can be surprising. While it may not slash every ticket in half, on certain routes, seniors have reported saving enough to cover an extra night in a hotel or even the cost of airport transfers. Why is it hidden? Simple. Airlines know most people book online, so they avoid advertising these fares widely. They're protecting revenue. But for the small group of travelers who still know to ask, the savings are real. This is the moment where age works in your favor. While younger travelers scramble for promo codes, seniors have a built-in discount, but only if they use their voice, not their browser. Next, we'll look at the most overlooked benefit of all, the airport wheelchair service that quietly unlocks fast tracking, better seating, and stress-free boarding, even if you don't normally use a wheelchair. Here's a secret almost no one shares. Requesting wheelchair assistance at the airport isn't just about mobility, it's about access. When you book your ticket, you can request wheelchair service at no extra charge. The moment you arrive, an attendant meets you at the curb, helps with your bags, and escorts you straight past the longest lines. Security becomes faster. Boarding becomes easier. Even layovers feel less stressful because someone is literally guiding you through the chaos. But here's the part that shocks most seniors. You don't have to be fully dependent on a wheelchair to use this. Many older travelers who simply find walking long distances tiring can request the service. Airlines and airports actually build it into their operations. They'd rather provide support than risk someone struggling alone. Some even report being seated earlier, ensuring overhead space for their bags and arriving fresher at their destination instead of exhausted from the airport marathon. It's not about looking weak, it's about traveling smarter. Younger passengers might fight through crowds. You glide past them with a guide. And this leads us to another overlooked perk that can completely change the way you travel after 60. Airport lounges. They're not just for the wealthy or business class anymore, and you might already qualify without even knowing it. Most travelers picture airport lounges as something reserved for CEOs, first-class flyers, or people with fancy credit cards. But here's what few seniors realize. Access is much easier than you think. Some airlines quietly offer discounted or even complimentary lounge passes for seniors, especially on long-haul flights. Others allow you to buy a one-day pass for far less than you'd expect. And if you're part of certain travel clubs, retirement associations, or credit unions, lounge access may already be included without you knowing it. Why does this matter? Because lounges flip the airport experience upside down. Instead of fighting for a chair near a noisy gate, you sit in a quiet space with free snacks, drinks, and clean restrooms. Some even have showers and nap pods, a lifesaver during delays. Think about the ripple effect. You arrive at your destination refreshed, not drained. You avoid overpriced airport food because your lounge has a buffet. And most importantly, you feel cared for instead of shuffled around like luggage. And just when you think comfort is the only win, there's a perk that helps you keep money in your pocket after you land. Travel insurance benefits tied directly to senior discounts. Here's something that shocks most travelers over 60. You might already have built-in travel insurance you've never used. Many seniors pay extra for coverage they didn't need because airlines, credit cards, and even associations like AARP quietly include benefits that cover trip delays, medical issues abroad, or lost baggage. The problem is, these perks are often buried in the fine print.
For example, certain airlines offer senior-specific insurance bundles that cost less but cover more relevant risks, like emergency medical care overseas, prescription replacement, or even guaranteed hotel stays if flights are canceled. Yet most seniors click past this option during checkout without realizing its value. Here's the kicker. Even some Medicare supplement plans and retirement memberships have travel protection baked in. But because it's rarely explained clearly, many older travelers double pay, once through their membership and again through a separate travel policy. The payoff for knowing this? Peace of mind and extra cash. Imagine avoiding a $200 surprise charge just because you knew where to look. That's not just smart, that's empowering. And speaking of empowerment, the next hidden perk is something you'll notice the moment you step up to the boarding gate. Priority boarding. Not just for wheelchairs or first class, but for seniors who know the right timing. Most travelers think priority boarding is only for first class, families with kids, or frequent flyers. But here's a secret insiders know. Seniors often qualify too, they just don't announce it. Here's how it usually plays out. As boarding begins, the gate agent calls for passengers needing extra assistance. That doesn't just mean wheelchairs. Seniors who find it easier to board early can step forward, no questions asked. The advantage? You're not scrambling for overhead bin space, you're not bumping shoulders in the aisle, and you can settle in calmly while everyone else fights their way through. Some airlines even have unofficial courtesy policies where seniors boarding alone are quietly invited to join the early groups. The key is confidence. If you walk up with hesitation, the staff may assume you're fine waiting. But if you approach politely and state, "I'd appreciate early boarding," more often than not, they'll wave you through. It's one of those unspoken rules of air travel. Age can actually open doors, but only for those who know to ask. But priority boarding is just the beginning, because once you're in the air, there's another overlooked perk that can completely change your comfort level. Special in-flight seating options seniors rarely claim. For most passengers, getting stuck in a cramped middle seat feels like punishment. But here's the truth airlines don't advertise. Seniors often get priority when it comes to seat reassignment if they speak up. At check-in or at the gate, simply explaining that you may need extra space for comfort, whether it's easier aisle access, more leg room, or even proximity to the restroom, can unlock better seating options. Staff are trained to consider seniors with mobility or comfort concerns before reshuffling the general crowd. Here's the kicker. Agents almost never offer this outright. They're told to wait until someone asks. But when seniors do, gate agents often shift them into seats with more breathing room, and in some cases, even into premium economy. Think about it. While most travelers fight tooth and nail for an upgrade, you, as a senior, have a built-in advantage. The psychology is simple. Crew members want smoother flights, and helping seniors get comfortable early makes everyone's job easier. The trick is, don't demand, don't exaggerate. Just calmly say, "I'd like to see if there are seats with easier access for me." That one line signals to the staff that you know your rights without coming across as entitled. And here's where the plot thickens. Better seats are just the start. There's a hidden baggage loophole that can save seniors hundreds of dollars per trip, but airlines are banking on you never hearing about it. Airlines love baggage fees. They rake in billions of dollars each year just from that one line item. And yet, here's what they hope you never discover. Seniors have more ways to bypass those fees than almost any other group of travelers. Let's start with medical allowances. If you travel with medical equipment, things like CPAP machines, portable oxygen, or even medication cooling bags, those items don't count against your baggage limit. They're free, no exceptions. The trick is to clearly state, "This is medical equipment," when you check in. Staff are required to process it without charge. If you're a senior veteran, it gets even better. Many airlines waive baggage fees entirely for military veterans. That's right, your service still earns you perks decades later. But you have to connect your veteran status to your frequent flyer account or mention it at booking. And here's the twist most travelers never see coming. Some airlines quietly extend free baggage allowances to senior companions, meaning if you're traveling with a partner or family member, their bag may fly free too, simply because they're with you. Now think about that. While other passengers are throwing money at the check-in counter, seniors who know these rules glide right through, pockets untouched. But here's the real cliffhanger. Luggage isn't the last secret, because for seniors who ask the right way, the airport lounge doors, usually reserved for elite or first-class flyers, can suddenly swing open. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly how seniors unlock free lounge access, meal vouchers, and even hotel accommodations during delays, perks that most travelers never even realize exist. So the question is, the next time you fly, will you walk past those lounge doors, or will you finally step inside?